We've got Mr. Chima Nnaji joining us today. He's a legal practitioner. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much, and good morning, viewers.
This fight about corruption, and today we see one of the papers, 55 government officials stole 1.35 trillion naira ascribed to Mr. Sagi. And, you know, when you look through all of this, we can only ask ourselves, look, are we actually approaching this in the right way, to the extent that we get the kind of results we want fighting corruption?
I think there's a lot of thespian jactitations going on. You know, people are into drama. Why would you have knife and yam all in your own hands and your children are crying for hunger?
How do you mean?
Government is a leviathan. It has all the means, coercive means, and persuasive means. It has the stick, it has the carrot. So if it is indeed the situation that 55 people, by which I believe the names are known, the addresses are known, and their status as to whether they are alive or dead is known, why do we have to announce it in the newspapers before going after them? The government has the power. It has the legitimacy to pursue such people on behalf of the people, because they are holding, or at least believed to be holding, money belonging to people. So I think we need to reduce the noise and go for the action, because this thing is portraying this country in a terribly bad light. And every day, why would you be applying brake with the other leg and applying the throttle? Do you think the car can move well? Some people are rushing, calling about everybody in the world to come for investment, foreign investment, foreign investment. On the other hand, we are saying that the entire environment in which you are being called in to invest is suffused with people who are completely and irredeemably corrupt, and that we who are inviting you to come and invest are completely helpless and incapable of redressing the situation. That's why we're shouting.
Is that the genesis? Is that the genesis of where we are today in this country?
This is the situation we are in, because the proverbial fowl said why it is shouting when the kite snatches one of the chicks. It's for the whole world to hear its voice, because it's incapable of confronting the kite that has a higher advantage of flight. Are you with me? Now, there was this very, very funny situation when Lagos was still under the siege of armed robbers. Some policemen were standing on this road, whatever, and some boys came with Volkswagen. They said, stop and search. They opened and they found that they had arms and ammunition in the car. They're not on the car, you go. Those people who were still on the line saying that those bad boys be this. And they are the bad boys. And you are on the road because of those bad boys. So one man asked him, are you telling me to now chase after them?
How do we define corruption?
This is the problem.
Along what lines do we begin to define?
This is the problem, my brother. Nobody has defined this thing called corruption. It remains a nebulous concept. And so anybody chasing nebulous things will chase shadow. Are you talking about people who stole money? Have you found out why they steal money and how it can be stopped while you grapple with the manifestations that have already ripened? What do you do with those people who have not had the opportunity of being corrupt, so that you do not get them into that net of being corrupt if they eventually have the opportunity? How do you reward those people who have never been corrupt and who have been exposed to corruptogenics and they declined to fall at such temptations? And we have a replete number of them. So many Nigerians are very good people. They will never touch anything that doesn't belong to them. Some for religious reasons, some for upbringing, some for sheer fear. But there's no reward for such class of Nigerians. Every day we are confronted with barrage of allegations that never get proven. And we give ourselves bad name. If you call your basket a waste basket, your neighbor will pour rubbish and garbage into it. That is a fact of life.
You know, looking at the whole...
Nigerians are not this bad.
Speaking about the structure and the system, does it encourage, because now that you say there isn't that reward system for those who...
There's no reward system.
But what about, is a system also in place to dissuade those who will do otherwise and find themselves corrupt?
You see, when I think it used to be in the old personnel management concept, if there is no longer an intrinsic value in the job, motivation drops. So what do? Redesign the job, or fit the man to the job, or the job to the man. You must deal with some of the variables, but that is because you understand the variables. What are the variables? What are the corruptogenics? What predispose people to corruption? Let us look at the economic angle, which is the one that seems to be attracting the attention of government, without remembering that ethnicity, nepotism, religious bigotry, cultism, and so on and so forth, anything that will give your own group or people you prefer undue advantage over and above others who are equally entitled or even better entitled is corruption. It's as simple as that. But because you need to perch on a particular place, if you come into a duplex, you choose one corner of the room and sit down. You don't sit in all the corners of the duplex. Otherwise, you cannot enjoy sitting down. You'll be perching.
But there's less corruption now as to before this administration came on board.
Sorry?
There's less corruption now as to before this administration came on board.
Do you have any study? What people have done is that they have become smarter.
Oh, you mean corruption is metamorphosis?
Well, if you would like to use that word, but there will always be metamorphosis. In every situation, things continue to evolve. But what I'm telling you is that those people who are still who still have the opportunity to put their hands in the public till have become smarter, knowing fully well. I said one day here that when you hear somebody shouting "Ole," look more at that person, because he might actually be that Ole. That thief may be the one shouting thief. So the innocent ones are pursuing the phantom thief, while the main thief reclines and even enters into another place and goes to the kitchen to pull some drinks for himself comfortably. So we need to be very careful the way we are going about this thing called corruption. Every day Nigerians are dying. What do you do to prevent those people who could be dragged into that net, or those who have refused on their own without any prompting to be corrupt? How do you reward them? How do you address that situation? The people who are supposed to be corrupt in the sense of their definition will just be a minuscule number, because they have had rare opportunities that are not available. Okay. Cronyism, all these things led to them being corrupt.
We need to go to break, but we'll be back and I'll let you explain more as we focus on tackling graft. Join us again.